Hello everyone, Deepargh Chatterjee and I, Supantha Paul, will be talking about our hacking Heist submission called Hospital Wagon, and we'll be talking about the idea behind the project, the development cycle, and we'll also be doing a live demo. So let's talk about the idea behind the project. So we all know the pain of booking an ambulance in an emergency health situation. So let's look at how we book an ambulance at today's date. So what do? We first find a phone number of the hospital that we choose. For example, we Google the hospital's name and find the number, or we ask someone about the hospital. Then we call that hospital, and it can happen that sometimes the hospital have a very high volume of patients. For example, looking at this COVID times, so we may not be able to reach that numbers. Then when we reach that number, we tell them about our current location through phone and other details so that the ambulance can reach our way. And let's say the hospital doesn't have any vacant ambulances at that moment, then we'll have to try a different helpline or a different hospital. So it's a very tedious process, and we know in a critical health situation, time is very important. Every second counts. So this is where our solution comes into play. So the solution of this problem is an app that gets our current location or even a custom location, and that lets us search for any hospital near us. We show the distance between us and the hospital, and we also show the arrival time of that ambulance, so we know exactly when the help is coming. And the app also lets you book the ambulance from the hospital of choice. So this is the hospital wagon way of booking an ambulance. So we pick a location, we pick a hospital, we check the availability of that ambulance and see what kinds of ambulances are available and which are suitable for us, and then we book that ambulance. So it streamlines the whole process. There are no manual phone calls, there are no talking over phones, there are no high volume of users that can affect our booking, and the process is streamlined. So this is the app flow of our app. So we first log in, and then we pick our location or a custom location of our choice. Then we pick and search for the hospital that we want to book the ambulance for, and then we can see when the ambulance can arrive, the distance, and also how many ambulances are available, and we can also book the ambulance right from that app. Next up, we'll be talking about the development, and Deepak will be talking about that.
Thank you, Supantha. Now, I'll be talking about the development of how we have fabricated the idea of hospital wagon. Next slide, please. Yes. So this is what we used in our tech stack. We used Expo, React Native, Redux, Tailwind, and SEO Labs API. Expo is basically a framework and a platform for universal React applications. It is a set of tools and services built around React Native and native platforms that help you develop, build, deploy, and quickly iterate on iOS, Android, and web apps from the same JavaScript and TypeScript codebase. We have also used various React Native plugins to provide a better user experience to the user. Now on to Redux. Redux is an open source JavaScript library for managing and centralizing application state. It is most commonly used with libraries such as React or Angular for building user interfaces. Next up, SEO. SEO provides convenience to both developers and the users when using the same platform by providing a one-tap authentication service that is secure, swift, and sustainable. Also, SEO does not save any personal data of the user since it's end-to-end encrypted and is coupled with a highly secure open standards working on public key cryptography. Next slide, please. Now onto the APIs. What APIs have we used? We have used Google Places API, Google Directions API, and Google Matrix API. Basically, what Google Places API does is that it provides us with the autocomplete feature when a user attempts to enter his location to fasten the process or streamline the process of choosing a location for the ambulance. Next up is Google Directions API. The Google Directions API provides us with the route between the user's location and the selected hospital's location, and the same is also sent to the ambulance so that it can reach the user in a faster way. And next up is Google Distance Matrix API, which provides us with the time and the distance between user's location and selected hospital's location So we exactly know when the help's coming. Next slide, please. Now onto our code base. Our whole code base is currently uploaded on GitHub and can easily be accessed by anyone to learn from. Onto the demo.
Now I'll be proceeding with the demo of this application. So as you can see, I have this Android emulator open with the app. So this is our home screen or the login screen of our application, which tells us about the app, and we can log in with our phone number. Upon clicking that button, we are redirected to the SEO login page where we'll enter our phone number and get an OTP so that we can confirm that this is our own number. So I'll be entering my number here. So upon entering my number, I can hit login, and now I'll be getting an OTP in my message. I've just received the OTP, so I'll be entering the OTP here. So when we enter the OTP, we can also choose to trust this app. So we no longer have to enter OTPs when we're logging in again. So I'll be doing that here. So when we are logged in, the first thing we see as the permission to access the location. So we can fetch our user's current location so that we don't have to enter it every time we want to book an ambulance. So as you can see, the process is very simple. We come here, we can either click on the current location or we can manually type in a location. Since I'm using an emulator, I'll be manually typing in the location. So let's say we live here and we want to get an ambulance at this location. So we click there and we get a map opened with our current location with a marker. Now we can search for a hospital near us. So let's search for the Southern Hospital, which is very near to this place. So I'll be clicking that, and we can see the entire route the ambulance will go through to come here. We can also see the distance between us and the hospital, and we can also see the time within which the ambulance will arrive. As you can see, it says it will arrive in 5 minutes and the distance is 1.1 miles. Now we can also see the number of types of ambulances, for example, basic, emergency, and so on. And we can also see how many ambulances are available in this particular hospital. Now, these availability numbers are dummy numbers because hospitals do not provide live data currently to access ambulance numbers, but our app will have to integrate with the hospital in order to provide that. So let's say we want to book an emergency ambulance, so we can just click on that and we can just call emergency, and this is how our ambulance will be booked if the hospital was connected through our platform. So when the ambulance is booked, we can simply press OK and the app is reset to the current location. Let's say I choose the same location for our home, and let's say we want to find a different location, for example, Shuraksha Diagnostics. This is supposed to be a bit further, so you can see 1.2 miles and also arrives in approximately the same direction. And we can also book the ambulance this way. So this is basically how it works, and we can also click this button and if you want to cancel the operation and choose a different location for our origin. So this is the live demo of our application. Hope you liked it. And you can learn from our GitHub repository. The whole code is up there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.